Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the channel dedicated to self-development and growth. Today I'll be doing a random video. Initially I thought that I wanted to entitle the video feeling overwhelmed, but when you touch on a topic such as feeling overwhelmed, it encompasses a number of other topics or subtopics rather. So I'm just going to jump in and we're just going to have a little chit chat about a little bit of everything. Let's go. Alright, so a number of times when we have a lot to do or a lot of things that we feel that are outside of our limits or capabilities to be done in a certain amount of time, we start to feel overwhelmed. We start to feel like, look, this is the breaking point for me. I cannot do anymore. This is too stressing. And sometimes it is because there are some instances where we're thinking about the lack of resources. Resources meaning time, physical resources, there is the help of other persons to get whatever task that we have that needs to be done. So there are a number of factors that plays a role. Money plays a role in a lot of persons feeling overwhelmed because there is this thing that you want to do and you don't have the financial resources to do it. So you start to feel like, all right, either I'm not good enough or I have to push this back. Now here's the thing, or it can also be a case where you feel like you should be further in life than where you are now, which a lot of us in our 20s feel. And I think society has played a huge role, and the internet, social media on a whole, has played a huge role because we feel, and I'm not saying that it is impossible, but for average persons, and this video will contain a number of contradictions, but you will get it and understand why. But for a number of persons, they believe that what they see, they believe that what they see that others do is attainable. Alright. Now comparison is the thief of joy, but comparison sometimes allows us to be honest with each other. Is either we learn where we need to step up, we learn what resources we need, what we need to change, and sometimes it's not the goal that needs to be changed, but the approach to the goal, right? Sometimes the goal is good, but your approach is off. And then if you have had the same approach for 5 years and you're realizing that you're not getting to the goal, don't you think that something is wrong? And that will lead to you feeling overwhelmed, like you're doing the thing, whatever you're doing wrong. And that's sometimes because we're headstrong or we believe that life should work one way, and that's not how life works. What was I talking about? So I was saying social media and goals, right? So we see somebody with somewhere the same age as them and we feel like, listen, this is what I should have had because either I tried more, I was given more opportunities. But then life is very unpredictable and we don't know for sure that if we take the same path as somebody else, we'll end up in the same position. You can be working for 10 years and you have not seen anything, and that 1 year that you choose to put in the extra over what you had planned, you see everything come through. A person can be working for 1 year and achieve what you take to achieve in 11 years. It's just like a house on the fire. The house might take long to build. It takes a lot of resources, a lot of manpower, physical resources, time, thinking, ideas, everything. And that house has taken years to build, and one strike of a matches out of all of the matches sticks in the box burns that house down in less than a day. And that's sort of what life is like sometimes when it comes on to our goals. So you can take years to build something and it gets destroyed, and you can do one bad thing and everything is destroyed. So it's just like understanding that we honestly we don't know as human beings what tomorrow brings. Life has no manuscript, and I hate, and I'm going to use the word hate, which I don't not a fan of using because it can be a strong word. Persons that try to assure you that this is going to be the definite outcome. Now when you fixate your mind on this is going to happen if I do this and it does not happen, then you will have problems. Now in a previous video I was talking about sometimes it's not important, it's not beneficial, and it's a good idea to have plan B, C, D, and E because it takes from you focusing on plan A. But in some cases, you need to have plan B and C because, as I said, life is not certain. Nothing is promised, not even 10 seconds there. I'm not even sure if I'm going to post this video because I might just be sitting here talking to myself to rewatch it to say, alright, when I feel overwhelmed again, like I'm at the breaking point where it's either what I'm doing I don't feel like it's good enough, or I've been trying for so long and nothing has been working, I can sit back and watch this video and say, oh, that's why certain things are get an understanding to, oh, life has no manual, and I said this before. What you can also look at is the fact that you can work, alright, for persons who are in certain careers, they have spent years going to university, and when they're finished they realize that um this is not actually what I want to do, I'm not enjoying it. A lot of these persons wouldn't have done that if they were sure that next 10 years after they're finished they would not be in that profession, because it not only would it be somewhat of a waste of time, it would also be a waste of money, and it would take away from the time that they could have invested on working what they actually wanted. Now, another thing or another reason why sometimes we feel overwhelmed as human beings is because of the pressure that persons place on us throughout society. And society is a system based. They have a school system, a home system, health system. It's built on systems. And sometimes, alright, a number of persons, education wise, a number of persons are not pursuing careers that they are truly invested or interested in, but rather living through others or their parents. Now, let me tell you the flip side. You see, because sometimes parents did not achieve a certain thing and they had to struggle because they did not achieve it, they believe that that is the only way for you to come out of a certain situation. For example, poverty and education, right? So, a parent did not gain the education that they think they needed to push them forward or propel them through society up the social hierarchies, etc., etc. Right? Now, it is going to be the standpoint or the grounding area for which the parent says, listen, you need to get an education because I did not get any and I'm suffering and I don't want it to suffering. So it is either or either, right? So that is something to look on. And sometimes we genuinely know that what we're doing now is not what we want to be doing. And I always say this, and I'm saying it no because there are a lot of things that I personally am considering. Why focus on something that you don't like and waste your time and feel overwhelmed and stressed when you can say, alright, I like B, and if I invest as much or have the time that I'm investing in A, then B might work out. So you look at it and you say, alright, if I'm investing as much time, and you will invest more time because it's something that you're interested in. And then another thing to note that our passion and our purpose can be different. Sometimes it is the same, but not all the times. No, passion is the one that you may enjoy, and purpose is the one that you may not enjoy. And I think this is what is happening. Sometimes you're passionate about something, but it's not our purpose. And I think that's a tough part of reality to accept. That look, this my love. How can I make this my purpose? But sometimes I feel like we are here to create our own purposes, and sometimes I feel like the purpose is living. I don't know, everybody has their own opinion on that, and I hope that this video is still recording because I'm not recording it over because I'm just talking out of my head. And I also believe sometimes in divine timing, it can take you years to do something and it works. And you can be doing everything that you think you're supposed to be doing. You can be going by whatever manual of whatever system you're trying to participate in. And it doesn't work because it's just not the time. Everybody else is passing you, and it's not about comparing, but it's just the truth. So you're looking at it and you're saying, alright, as I said before, you're doing everything and something is not working. Maybe it's just not your time. Maybe you need to prepare more. There are also instances where we feel like we want more, but honestly we're not ready for more. Take money for example. A lot of persons are saying, oh, if they had more money they will this and that. But you cannot manage a little bit amount of money that you have now. So if you cannot manage $5,000, right? And I do get that sometimes there are so many years for the $5,000 to go in, so the 5 tons not end up getting finished fastly. But I'm talking about splurging wise, right? You cannot manage your $5,000, but you want $1,000,000. Make it make sense. Now, when you see all of that money, it's going to be, oh, $5,000 this, So you're going to quadruple whatever you were doing with the $5,000, which was wasting it. Because you say, alright, a whole heap of money this, I mean, $5,000 could achieve this. So you're no longer thinking about what you're supposed to be achieving first. You're thinking about the enjoyment because you say, alright, make up money left, right? And then it comes to you start taking from it and you're taking from it until you don't even realize that it's finished. And it never finishes until you have something that you need to do, not want, but need to do. So I don't know. I just feel like we are somewhat groomed or programmed to believe that this is how life has to work. And we're placed in these systems because society has to function, and I do get why systems are in place. But then if you continue to be average, you will only gain what an average person has gained. If you continue to follow the roadmap that has been set out for you, don't take any risk, then you will only gain what an average person has gained, and that's why you're feeling overwhelmed, because you know that you're worth more. Something just came to mind and it slipped me. And then it comes to knowing that you deserve more too. I think this is the last thing I'm going to touch on. Sometimes we're overwhelmed because we know that what we're doing now will not serve us. Like, we know how, we know our capabilities. Did I say this before? We know our capabilities. So we're operating at A when we know that we can be operating at A plus. And we feel like, listen, I'm not doing enough. And sometimes persons don't understand what you mean that you're not doing enough, because to them you're doing a lot. But you sitting down and looking at yourself and you say, no, I can do way more than this. Sometimes that causes pressure. Sometimes even trying to help others is overwhelming, because you're helping everybody else and there's nobody to help you. And then there are some persons in society that are so damn inconsiderate. They're always, I don't want to say nagging, but they're always picking out persons that they want to help them, but whenever those persons want help, they're not there. So you have to be careful of persons like that, because there are persons that are so selfish in society. And if you're a giver, you're more likely to feel overwhelmed, because a lot of givers don't know when to stop giving, and takers for one don't know when to stop taking. So that if you don't have boundaries in place, so all of the systems, all of the friendship, all of the relationships that you're in, then you're going to feel overwhelmed, because persons are always going to feel like either you're available or you're in line with whatever it is. I think a big part of not feeling overwhelmed is saying no, and I'm learning that. Saying no, because honestly, I don't want to do it, I'm not interested in doing it, I'm not available to help you right now. When I am, I will, but for right now, I'm not. So I believe that, it's about putting ourselves first. Time management is sometimes so important, because if you feel overwhelmed because we wasted time before and you feel like we can get it back, and that's also another point. Time wasted can never be regained. There are things that I used to dwell on, things that I could have done, things that I should have done, but I'm looking now and I'm saying I only have the second and the ones before me. So it's either, if I normally go to bed, I go to bed in the mornings. If you watch a few of my vlogs, you see that. So I have instances where I'm going to my bed at 5, 6 in the morning, and I wake up at 8, because this is now 8 in the morning and I'm recording this video. I am not a late sleeper. So it's either I say, alright, I'm going to do 3 extra hours. It's not catching up, because it's taking from my sleep. But if I was supposed to be on the 14th of the month, then I can still drop back in the 14th of the month and try to somewhat balance out back my schedule. Yeah, and then for persons who are similar to me, I feel unproductive, and I think this is a programming if I don't get up early. Like, if I get up like 11 and 12 o'clock, girl, boy, me tell you, the day run gone, and me not do nothing, and me feel worthless, and like, me just feel like, look, you wasted the day. And it's not always about the time of the day, but I feel like for morning aspects, I tend to get a bit more work done, and then the day seems longer and I have a lot of things to do, so it ends up working out. But then there are some persons who can wake up after 12 and get the same amount of work done. So I think it's doing what is within your capability span. But I feel like for those of us who feel like we are not doing enough during the day, when we actually need to rest, because I have a negative relationship with resting. Like, sometimes more, like when baby afraid sleep and they want, that's somewhat of me. Like, I feel like I always have to be doing something. There's not a day that I can sit down and be at home and not do anything, because I feel like I'm not being productive. Being busy does not mean productivity, and I have to learn this. Sometimes I'm busy and really not do nothing. Where you're not productive, there's no good outcome. You're not going to gain anything from it. And sometimes we just need to rest, because, alright, there are days when I go to bed 4 or 5 in the morning, and the next day I'm so tired I'm not able to carry what I am able to do, right? But if I had gone to bed, like, my voice is cracking up, sorry. If I had gone to bed like maybe around 12 or 1, then I would have more energy to get what needs to be done in the day. So those are things to consider. I don't think I have anything else to ramble about on this topic. These are just out of my head. I did write some things down. I cannot find where I wrote it down, so I'm just here talking. If you did like my content and you made it to this far, well, to the end of the video, you can comment what you feel overwhelmed about. Sometimes it is school, and you can go on. There are a few persons that break down a few things, how to manage this, how to manage that, resources that will make things easier for us. And this is also a thing. I am so connected to doing things the hard way that when resources are presented before me, that makes it easier. I feel like I'm not doing it to the level that I'm supposed to. So that is something that I'm breaking out of. I hope that this video is still recording. But if you did like my content, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and check out my previous videos. Thank you so much for watching. I am trying my best to post on for the month of the last week of April, or the last 2 weeks of April, and the entire month of May. I'm trying to post on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to see how it will work out. Thank you so much for watching.